Guys, it's Kelly. Hey, I am going to share some card making measurements and super quick and easy cards for beginners. So I think that once you find a layout that you like that's super simple and you can mass produce, it helps, especially during holidays. So I'm a little late to the party on this one because I think it's pretty late in December. But this is the time I have. I've got a lot going on for my personal life. Haven't had time to do videos. I think it's been quite a while since I've done one. So I wanted to share what I was doing for the holidays, some of the cards that I'm making. So this is a really simple design that I made. It does take a few things that some beginners may or may not have. One of those I just realized, and you do not have to have it, is embossing powder. So you don't have to do it, but I really like the look. I think that it adds to the, hopefully you can see in the card where it's shiny and sparkling, and then this is shiny and sparkling. But I'm going to talk about all kinds of different options that you can do while you're putting these cards together. So that's what we're going to do. So hang with me till the end. There are tons of tips and tricks that I plan on exposing while I do this video. So I brought out some of my oldest paper, my oldest stamps. I've had this for over 10 years, and this works perfectly for the size that I have on this card. So I'm going to pop that little sucker out, and I'm going to use that one. This is a very old Fiskars that I got from Michaels eons ago. And it is still great. It still sticks. Like, you know how sometimes you buy the stickers and the stamps and they don't stick anymore? These are perfect. It's 10 years old and they're still sticking beautifully. So this is the one that I'm going to use consistently because I'm looking to try to, mass produce. I've got just a variety of papers, some gold paper and some black paper, and that is for the little 1/8" strips. That'll make more sense here in a little bit. And then I love these. I got these from Love from Lizzie. I'm not paid. This isn't, I don't advertise for her or anything like that. I just purchased these and I just love them. I love using them in my card making and art journaling. And these are some of the options that I thought that I might use. So I've got those pulled out. And then here's all the paper that I'm going to play with. I've already made a card with this one and the red one, but I've just got a bunch of different, really old paper, and it's pretty thin. Nothing's wrong with it. And it came from this paper stack. It is Cloud 9 Design, very old. Probably can't even get it anymore. But I'm just going to play with a bunch of different papers. I do have some stuff pre-cut, so we'll see how the video goes. And if I have more time to make even more, I absolutely will. So, I'm going to get out my Score Pal. This thing is amazing. And kind of show you some things I've got pre-cut. So like I said, in case you don't have the Love from Lizzie stickers, which are awesome. They're very affordable, excellent price point, and I personally think that they're a staple for your room. But these ones I just cut just to have them available if I want to use them, okay? So you can just cut them just 1/8 inch. This paper trimmer, the Tim Holtz Tonic Studios paper trimmer, is one of the best things I purchased for my craft room for the larger paper that I have. Love this trimmer. Definitely recommend it. I'll make sure and put the link below for Mike. I am an Amazon affiliate, so it doesn't cost you anything, but if you use one of my links, I get a small commission from it. I have yet to see anything from that because I'm very new to that, but I'm sure I will eventually. But yeah, it's just a way to make it easier for you guys. Again, no cost to you, but it'd be nice to get, something for sharing all this stuff. I think it's great. So this is a really cheap die set that I got on Amazon. It's not a fancy one or anything, and I just basically put it on a magnet sheet and I keep it that way, and I use this a lot. Very affordable. Again, great price point if you're new to card making, and I will share the link for that too. So I have all these pre-cut because I know I like this design. The difference is just going to be the different paper. Okay, so here are, if you're interested, here are the dimensions. These are the traditional 5x7. I like to do that for Christmas time. I don't know why, I just do. Any other, like a thank you card or anything else, I like to just do it a little bit different. But if I'm going to do like a thank you card, this 4.5, 5.25, I love that size. But for Christmas, I don't know, I feel like it should be traditional. I don't know, that's just me. So this is just a simple 5x7, and these are the dimensions for the front paper that you need to cut. So obviously your card's going to be 5 by 7. I'm going to explain that, how to cut that. And then you've got 3 3/4 by 6 3/4. That's this piece right here. Then you've got 1 by 6 3/4. That's this piece right here. And then you've just got an 1/8 by 7. Now I say by 7, give yourself a little bit of time, a little bit of room so you can wrap it over if you'd like. You can always cut some off, but if you cut it too short, then you got to recut the whole thing. So it's better to cut this strip a little bit longer. You can always trim it, it's not the end of the world. And then the sentiment, if you don't have the dies like I have, this measurement I find works really well. 3 3/4 by 2 1/4, the big one. And then the small one that you actually stamp your sentiment on is 3 1/2 by 2. This is rough measurements, okay? So this is the coolest, easiest thing for beginners. So hopefully you can pause the video if you're brand new and you want to take that down, you can. Hopefully you were able to see that. I'm doing it with my phone, so we'll see. Okay, so the paper that I've pre-cut is right here. I've got a couple that I pre-cut, but what I'm using is 110 pound Neenah Solar White. I really, really love this paper for card making. It's so sturdy. It handles so well in the mail. Definitely recommend it. So I get it in 9 1/2 by 11. So if you're going to do the 5 by 7, so if we're going to do 5 by 7 card, then I just need to cut this down to 10. I cut it down on the long side to 10, and then that will give me 5, and then I'll cut it down to 7 here. So I will put that at 10, save that extra piece, and then we'll bring this little sucker down to 7. Ta-da, and that simple. Always save those extra pieces because you can use those for sentiments and things like that. That's how I made some of these. And then you're going to take this, put it on your squad pal. Hopefully you got the nice big one like I've got. I don't have the little one. That would be really handy for the smaller cards, but I don't know. I got the bigger one so that I had all the options available for 12 by 12 paper. That's kind of what I wanted. You're going to score that right at 5. I'm just gonna roll right into it, guys. I'm not scared. Push it in the corner. And this is really thick paper, so I like to score it quite a few times. I'm gonna score all my other ones too. I've only got 3. I don't even know if we're gonna have time to make 3, but we're gonna try. And I score that right at 5. There we go. And one more time. I like the landscape format for this. You can do, I mean, get crazy with your cards. These are so much fun. It's a great way to use your paper too. And then give a handmade card. I mean, it's nothing better than that, I think. Okay. And then I do like to use my other bone folder, this Teflon one, to really give myself a good crease there. And then it's, you know, the thing where, like the toilet paper, do you want to put it over or under or whatever? The rule here, if you're going to, tip number 1, if you're going to score down like this, you pick it up, bend it down. You don't turn it over the other way. Don't do it like that. That's just not right. There's a right way and a wrong way. This is the right way. Okay. It works better. You just got to trust me. Doing it for a while. Nice and as flat as it can get. Yay. All right, so there are my card bases ready to rock and roll. So I'm going to put those aside. I'm going to put my scoreboard aside because I'm going to be done with that for a while. And then I'm going to show you what I already pre-cut. So I already found some of the paper that I really liked. And I cut some paper. Like I said, I'm mass producing some of these. And this is the easiest trick ever. I've shown this on previous videos, but you might not have seen that video. And what I like to do is so simple. You literally cut this piece and that piece, turn it upside down, use Scotch tape, and you're good to go. I've got my card front right there. It is literally that simple, guys. Turn it upside down. Make sure your orientation is where you need it. Definitely don't want to do it the wrong way. I guess if you did, you could just look it up. No. Bad enough. We don't play with that. Okay, so I just line it up as easy as I possibly can. And if you want to use, I love these mats because they kind of help you to keep things straight. But I know that I cut it straight. I'm a little off on the edge. I don't care. I will just trim it. No one's going to measure your perfect measurements, guys, for real. You could just eyeball it. You don't need to get all crazy. But sometimes to have a starting point, especially if you're new, to where's the right layout? Where's the right measurement to at least start? Hopefully me putting that on the whiteboard is going to be really helpful to you guys that are brand new. When I first started, I needed guidance. I needed, give me a starting point. Like, give me a measurement just to start. I'll play once I get down the basics, but I had to get the basics down first. And then once I got the basics down, then I could start, moving things around. There we go. It's a little long on that side. Not the end of the world. I will stick that in my paper trimmer and straighten that little sucker right up. Teeniest, tiniest little bit. And there it is. Now I've got 2 card fronts. So that's how that's done. Super, super easy. And now, because we cut them to size, I'm a big fan of having the border around the edge. I personally really like that. Now, what I'm planning on doing is, put that aside, stamping this on here. Okay, with my embossing powder. I'll show you exactly how to do that for those that do not know. And then, now there's circles on here, but I played with circles. I don't want to do that. It's too much. Too much. And then we'll put that little sucker right there. And we're done. There's nothing wrong with it. And I could put a black strip down in here just to kind of ground these two together. I don't have to do that. It'd be perfectly fine the way it is. I don't think a gold strip will work. But let's say you don't have these cool little stickers that I've got right here. If you don't have them, that's fine. You can still just put a strip down here like that. And it just seems to finish it off. That's, I don't know, there's quite a bit of a contrast. It'll make more sense when the Happy Holidays is stamped on there. But you can just use 1/8 of an inch, roughly about 1/8 of an inch strip of regular cardstock. Stay away from the white cardstock, guys, because you probably can't tell. But this is an old piece of black paper that I had, and it was white core cardstock. And when you die cut that, the white shows through. For those that don't know, definitely don't recommend using that. I knew it would happen, and I was just like, well, whatever. I've got white on the background, so if it shows, it shows. I was fine with it. Okay. So now you don't have to have a MISTI stamp platform. However, if you're going to do this, don't live without it. Just saying. It's kind of awesome. It's just kind of a big deal. You got to have it in your life, for real. Okay, I'm just going to eyeball this little sucker. That looks good to me. And then embossing is super, super easy. You do need a certain amount of tools. You do not have to do this. I think it adds a really nice touch to it. But you are going to need some kind of a juicy ink to do this. And this is trick number 2. So when you're embossing, I've shown this in other videos too. So those that have seen it, bear with me. If you get a juicy kind of VersaFine, Onyx Black is awesome, awesome ink for stamping, especially for clear embossing. So if I wanted to do this stamp in color, I could do it in any ink color I choose. I highly recommend a very wet ink. And if you use clear embossing ink, it will be that color. I'm going to go for black because I'm looking for mass producing, but you can get as crazy as you want. But this is a great starting point for somebody who is brand stinking new to all of this. So I'm going to show you. I have a couple of heat tools. This one is my heat tool, my Ranger heat tool, which I love. It's for drying ink. This is not necessarily for embossing. You could use it for embossing. Don't recommend it. For a heat tool to emboss, get an embossing gun. This is just like Recollections one. I've had it forever. It still works great. Why change it? It works fantastic. So this is really good for embossing. I wouldn't use this to dry ink. I only would use it to melt my embossing powder. All right. So I'm going to do what we normally do. This shouldn't be anything new, just some that have done this before. I'm just going to stamp that sucker right there. Oh, you know what I did? I already screwed up. Well, it worked out. I'll tell you. Can anybody guess what I did? See the kind of stamp that I have? The stamp has a foam rubber background. I'm used to stamps that do not, the silicone stamps. So I had my MISTI prepared for that kind. And I'll come back to that. So just pouring this over. I did not have to use my static tool, anti-static tool, because it's clear embossing powder. Should you use it? Yeah, you probably should. But again, this is all about mass producing really, really quickly. And since it's clear, if there's anything that's stuck on there, you won't be able to see it anyway. So why bother? Okay. And then I'm going to take my thing. It's going to get loud. I like to start from the back so that it doesn't blow off any more of the powder than it has to. And my gun is not heated. Preheating it is a good idea, but as you can see, it only takes a couple minutes. It doesn't take long at all. So now I roll over. I'm going to melt that sucker. Don't burn your fingers, because yes, it is very hot. Ouch. And don't touch it. You will burn yourself badly. Make sure it is good and melted, but not burned. Really fine line. And there we go. I like the shine. I can't help it. That's my jam. I like it. So here was the mistake that I made. This part of the MISTI tool is for using the silicone stamps that do not have all the cushion on it. Even if it has the cushion on it, is it the end of the world? No, it's not. But you should really take that off. Put this down there and then stamp without this little extra pad. So I'm going to leave that out now because I know I'm going to have to do more. So this is, for those that don't know, this I just laminated one of the paper sheets that comes with your MISTI, or you could purchase these. It's paper and it usually gets really, really messy. But what I did was I bought one pack and there's only a few sheets of it. And I got it from Jennifer McGuire. I learned that from her. I just laminated it and it doesn't add enough thickness to it to cause any issues. And I use it over and over and over again. And I save money because I don't have to rebuy these. And it's not all messy looking by the time you're done. So I am just going to leave that there. I know it's going to leave a mark, but that's okay. I can clean it up later. All right. And then I will put that right there. I will assemble my card and we're going to be done. But yes, this is all pre-cut. So would it take you guys longer? Absolutely. And I'll show you that. So for this, before I put this on my card base, I want to put the strip down. So again, a couple options here. These sticker strips work so well with the embossing sheen. It looks really, really nice. And I think it adds a finished look. So I like to get my piece off. I like to have just a little extra on there. And I want to line it up with the line. I want to go just a little bit over. Oh. They are very, very sticky. I have yet to have any issues with these coming off or anything like that. Right. I like to save this little piece because you can actually, all I have is my big scissors out. You can actually use these small pieces, like if you're making a card and you put a circle between the circle, you don't have to go totally under it, and you can actually use those. So you can see I have some of these pieces on here. Save them, because you can use them. You can use them. And then I just fold that one little piece over. Again, that's another thing where it looks finished. There we go. And I know that's going to go on there. I am going to pop this up with some foam tape. The foam tape in the mail can get tricky, so you don't have to use foam tape. Trick number 3, I think 3 or 4. I don't remember. Another trick that again I learned from Jennifer McGuire. She is amazing. I will try to remember to put her link below. She is my go-to, one of my muses for card making and inspiration, things like that. She uses little small pieces of leftover scrap paper that you have just to add dimension in the background. You can absolutely do that to this. It's a little big for me, so I probably won't take the time to do that. But if you have a small sentiment and you want to pop it up a little bit, just cut some of your extra strips of your thick, good paper and you can get dimension on it. And you don't have to worry about buying the, more costly foam tape. So, tip for you. All right, I like to use my ATG gun. If you don't have an ATG gun, I'm going to show you here in just a second. You could just use plain glue. Sometimes the glue will buckle a little bit because you can see the paper is a little bit warped because I heated it up. Sometimes it can buckle with the glue too, but with the liquid glue, it does give you a little wiggle room. So do you, whatever works for you, and use whatever you have that's in your budget. I like to do this when I'm mass producing because, again, it's quick, it's easy. And the only downside is I can't seem to get things straight to save my life. So I try to use my grids to help me. It doesn't always work. I wind up just eyeballing it and sometimes I'm off. And it is not the end of the world if you're off. It really isn't. And that, yep, I'm a little off. I don't care. I'm already over it. So I will pop that up right there. But before I do, I'm going to put it on here. Another cool trick that I learned, if you have red tape or double-sided tape, you can put strips on there and then you only pull part of it off. I think it was Natasha Foote. I saw her on YouTube. She does that. And I was like, oh my God, that is so genius. I've never tried it. I might want to try it like right now. Let me see if I can find my double-sided tape here. I know I've got some. Well, I did. I don't want to spend your time looking through my stuff though. Anyway, another time. So it's score tape, which is fantastic. Same thing here, but the cool thing is that you peel the protective part off, but you only peel part of it off. So it lets you wiggle it around to get it straight before it lands in its home base and is crooked for you, because it happens to all of us. All right. I like to go all around the edges and then just once down the middle. That seems to be good enough for me. Ooh, I left my magnet out. All right, now I know that I've got a border here and it's about 1/4 inch all the way, or yeah, all the way around. It's not 1/4, it's about 1/8. And I'm just gonna eyeball it and cross my fingers. Wish me luck. All right, it worked. Yay. That looks pretty good and straight. And then for this, my handy dandy, I've got super huge rolls of this. I always lean on this one. It's a little bit thinner than the other one. However, I recently, in a kit that I got from Simon Says Stamps, I love their kits. Again, I don't get paid for this. I'm just telling you, I find a lot of value in their kits. I discovered these little jobbies. It's nothing new, guys. They're all over the place. But the thickness of these are magical to me. It's like half the size of this one. So it nails so much better. And they're super, super sticky. And I really, really like them. But to see how small they are, I'd have to put like a whole bunch on here. So I'm not going to use them. But these little suckers, tip number whatever, these are awesome, awesome to have in your staff. And you get them from Scrapbook. Well, Scrapbook Adhesive. I got this from a kit from Simon Says Stamp. But you can probably get them all kinds of different places. And this one is always good to have. Oh. Save those little strips. And I try not to go overboard too much on this, but I feel like I do sometimes. You could probably just do little smaller pieces here and there. Like if I cut a few pieces, I could probably save and use a little bit less. Sorry, you probably couldn't see what I was doing. Just cut it. Probably save yourself some. That way. It's up to you. Now I feel like I need one right there. It's just not quite enough, but all right. That should be good enough. And you can use a little bit less of your supplies and get a little bit more bang for your buck. I'm all about it. Because we spend a lot of money on this crafting thing that we do. But it's worth it. Totally worth it. All right. When I do this, I do like to add some liquid glue on it. It's not that it doesn't stick very well. As you can see, it's yellowing. It's kind of an older, my glue's stuck on there. It's a little bit of an older roll. So it's still very sticky and it would probably stay fine. But when I put, when I put this glue on there, any kind of liquid glue is going to work, guys, but it lets me wiggle it around just a little bit before it finds its permanent home. And it's a little kinder to me and my not straight pattern that I have. All right. I don't care about that glue. I'm over it. I'm going to eyeball this sucker. If you want to get totally crazy, you can like center and everything. Yeah, no, I'm just not. I think that looks good right there. All right. So cool. Look how simple and easy that is. Not hard at all. And I've already got things pre-cut. So if you pre-cut and pre-measure, I use a die for this, but again, you can just use the measurements for the sentiment that I gave on here. This is rough estimate, 3 3/4 by 2 1/4, and then 3 1/2 by 2 1/2. And just mat it like that. I think it winds up looking really, really nice. And I always struggle with using really busy paper. This is very, very busy paper, but hopefully you guys agree it goes nicely. And with the contrast of the black and white, with the red and the green, I don't know, in the white, I don't know, I think it works. So that's me. You could get crazy, put all kinds of blingy things, some stickles, you could put gems, whatever you want on here. Again, mass producing is my goal here. So simple is great. The only other thing I'm going to do is put my stamp on the back. And then I like to put something in the center. So when I'm putting something in the center, I usually go to my scraps and I look and see what I've got. So this is one of my scraps that I've got. There's nothing wrong with me putting this sucker right there. Now I could put this here and then put another strip there if I want to. Absolutely could. I could get as crazy as I like, but what I did in this one is just put one strip and it really makes it so much better. And this is the standard stamp that I've got, again, from that stamp set from Fiskars. It is right here. These two stamps is what I use on the inside. And then how I do that on the inside after my card is made, there's lots of different ways you can do it. If you don't want to stamp directly in your card, you absolutely do not have to. I used to take the safe route and I used to not do that. But again, this is about quick mass producing some cards for the holidays when you're late like I am. So with that being said, I'm going to pull this out. And if you recall, I have that stamp there. Got a little messy here. Got to clean up. The coolest thing about this is you literally just, it wipes right off. It's great. I'm just going to leave that inked up slightly because I'm just going to reuse it, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to stick this in here. It's going to overlap. That is perfectly fine. I'm going to use my magnet and I'm going to eyeball it. And I'm going to be very careful where I put this because there might be some ink left over. I need to imagine that that strip is going to be down here. I'll add it later. And then get my finagling right about there. Looks good. And then these little snowflakes are so cute. It's just a tiny little touch and I put it nice and nestled in there. And I like it. Very traditional, very simple, still handmade, and still cool. All right. That is inside the corner. I can go ahead and get that out of there. Pick those up. I can emboss these if I chose to. Again, I don't have time. I'm doing this quickly. If you want to emboss it on the inside, do you? Go for it. I think it would be a great touch if you have time. Definitely don't have to. If you want to do it in color, tear it up. Do your jam, whatever your jam is. Okay. Now I took the little foam pad out, and sometimes it doesn't quite stamp because it depends on the thickness of the stamps. And again, like I said, these are very, very old, but that stamped beautifully. So make a liar out of me. And there we go. And I can choose to leave this on there and then just stamp the inside first the next time, because again, mass producing, that makes sense to me. But be careful for those newbies. After you stamp this, be careful. That's where this heat tool comes in handy. Let it dry, because otherwise you're going to wind up smearing it. Ugh, and that's the worst. If it happens, you just put another, you just mat a sentiment on the inside. It's not the end of the world, but if you're in a time crunch and you're trying to make a whole bunch of them, you don't want to do that. Okay, that's probably good enough right there. And we did it. Like, it's done. So simple. Oh, I forgot this one right here. I'm just going to slap that down. Since I'm going to have to wiggle it around, I'm going to use some liquid glue. This, you know what? Yeah, I will. This is really, really thin paper. Nope, I just changed my mind. It will not hold the liquid glue because it's so thin. So I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to use this. I love my ATG gun. Absolutely love it. All right. I'm going to stick a ruler down and have a guide. I want to have it just a little bit off the bottom. This ruler from Tim Holtz is awesome. So I need something to weight it down. Keep that. And get my big head in there. That looks pretty good to me. There we go. 'Tis done. Didn't take any time. So once you wind up cutting everything, pre-cutting everything with these measurements that I gave you, you can just spit these out lickety-split, like so fast. I can make another one with this design because I've already got it pre-cut. But if you're like, how do I choose which papers? That was always my hardest time. I was like, I'm having the hardest time finding the right. They were so busy and they didn't look like they would go. You just have to play with it and you just have to trust that it's going to work. So these were ones that I already pre-cut. Got another one over here that's pre-cut. I mean, these are going to go really, really fast. But if I had other ones that I want to do, here's the other one. Like, those are both pretty busy. But these look, I mean, you could give this as a gift set for next year. Like, somebody could have cards to give, you could get out to other people. So, some of the other paper that I've got, let me pull this over. And I was always just kind of in awe with how people would do cards. I'm like, how do you find, like, and I'm like, oh, that paper's so busy. It's so pretty, but it's so busy. How do I use it? I couldn't figure it out. So I'm going to take a couple really busy ones and see if I can make it work. I'm just going to roll with these two. I don't know. It's just, I'm going to make it happen somehow. I got a whole bunch there. And if I use my measurements, I just need to cut it and get my act together over here. I make such a big mess all around this area. It's so funny. So I need this to be 3 3/4 by 6 3/4. I've already got my card bases. So if I need 6 3/4 and I want it to be landscape, now I can choose to do it a different way, but I found this really quick and easy mass producing. Don't change it. Otherwise, you're not going to reach the goal that you set out, was to create a whole bunch quickly. because I get lost in that. I'm like, ooh, this would be so cute. Let me find just the perfect gem or just the perfect thing to put on there. So 6 3/4 landscape like that. And then I need by 3 3/4. And why not cut a few? I don't know if I'm going to like this. This is not my favorite paper, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not loving it, but you know what? It's going to be in the background. We'll hold on to that little sucker. Okay, I'll just do 2. And then this one is simple. I might have some of this, but we'll just cut it. Oh, I do. Ha! I don't need to use the whole sheet because I used it for this one. So yeah. Okay, so this is going to be an 1/8 by 7. Oh, no, sorry. This is 1 by 6 3/4. So I just see my blade and I go 1 inch from there. Hold on. About 1 inch. Again, I just don't care about that. It's going to be okay. There is my strip. And I need it to be by 6 3/4. Oops, I just cut it. Dang it. This paper is so thin. I'm glad to be using it because I've had it in my stash for the longest time. Okay, we'll just do 1. Oh, that's not the right one. I think we can make this work. I think we can make it work. Yep, we're going to because I decided. I cut it, so it's going to happen. And if I don't love it, it's not. It's okay. It is the thought that counts. Just a couple pieces. Oh no, I'm out of Scotch tape. So a couple pieces is all it gets. Keep it as straight as you can possibly get it. This is just to hold it in place. It's not the end of the world if it's not perfect because you're going to cover it up anyway. There we go. I got a little extra on this side. I'm just going to cut that so it's perfectly straight so that when I put my strip down, I have no issues. There we go. So if we wanted to dress this up, we could. Again, if the goal is to do this quickly, then don't get lost in the details. If I wanted to put one of these little wiggly strips on there, would it look okay? I have no idea. I've never tried it, so I'll just peek. I don't know. I already am not crazy about the paper, but I guess we can make that work. I don't know. I haven't used it. Let's try. Oh, shoot. Here. Let me line it up. Let's see if this will work. Well, it's not bad. Again, I don't love it. But I don't have time to love things right now. I just have time to make things. So there it is. It's going to have to happen. And then my pre-cut things like that. Since I already have that in the stamp thing, we are going to stamp the inside. Now, be careful. See all that mess right there? You got to get that cleaned up. If you put your card in there, then the back of the card is going to have all that nasty ink on it. So just make sure that you clean that up. Tip number 1700. I don't know. See, at the end of the world, I already know that my spacing is perfect because that's where it was last time. So there's no reason to overthink this too much. I'm just going to ink it up and redo it. See, this can happen super quick. I hope this is helping you guys. Truly, I do. I hope that it's helping you to be able to, like, oh my God, I haven't made enough cards. What do I do? Cut some paper, tape it together, slap it on, and just do it. And you don't have to use expensive new stuff. You use your old stuff. I've had this stuff forever, like over 10 years. It probably more like 12 or 15. I don't even know. And I don't make my own Christmas cards every year because I run out of time like everyone else. So yeah, I'm going to let that sit over here and air dry, make sure it doesn't get touched while I do the sentiment. This time I'm going to go ahead and clean that off. Hopefully you guys, I'm not out of the camera. It's no big deal, you just see me clean my... I just use a microfiber towel. These seem to work the best for me without getting little pieces of lint and stuff everywhere, and then your stamps are wispy around them. So tip number 4 billion, use a microfiber towel to clean these, because I don't know, I've used all kinds of different towels, and then when you stamp it, the little tiny pieces, they hold the ink too. So when you stamp it down, it's got little fingers outside of the letters, and it just looks not good. So I'll put these aside. Get my happy holidays. Get it lined up in the corner. It's got ink. Oh, look what I just did. Yep, I just did that because I had ink on my fingers. Clean your fingers. If you do not have hand sanitizer in your craft room, you absolutely need it because it gets the ink off your fingers. It also is what I use to clean my glass mat. It's what I use to clean my Misty. It is the thing to have. It cleans pretty much everything. Lickety split. Ha! Okay. That side. Good thing I made extras. I can redo that in no time. Okay. I gotta be real careful with this one. That looks good. Pick it up. I'm not going to worry about that. I knew that was going to happen. It'll be all in the right place when I'm done. In case you guys are wondering what this is just a little hockey puck thing. Ordered it on Amazon. It's perfect for your stamping. You just circular motion, press it down. Oh, well, maybe not. I didn't get a good impression. Like I said, these stamps are pretty old, so some of them are kind of warped a little bit, you know, and this one is like that, so sometimes I gotta really give it a good, gotta give it CPR. Oh, I just need more ink. Ink it up a little bit more. Oh, there's ink on it. I can see it's just not connecting. So I gotta really push that sucker down hard. If I had the pad under there, this wouldn't be an issue. But, you know, got it to connect. There we go. Oh, I almost forgot. I need to emboss it. Gotta be quick. Gotta be quick while the ink is wet. Come on. There we go. I probably won't get a very good emboss, but I'll get some. Oh, that'll be all right. There we go. Start from the back. Gotta angle it so I don't burn my fingers. And again, guys, if you want to do it in different ink, with clear embossing powder, you can have whatever embossing you want. Pretty clean. That looks good. When I use colored embossing, anytime that I try to use colored embossing powder, it gets everywhere. I use that non-static tool, whatever it is, over and over and over again. Does not matter. It gets me every time. Ooh, it gets me so mad. So when I discovered this, I was like, oh my gosh, clear embossing powder is the answer to my prayers. And I have so many stinking embossing powders with all these different colors that I'll probably never use again. Because, oh, such a source of anger. And try so hard to make something work and then it just doesn't. There we go. Put that sucker down. So hopefully this is helping some of you. And this is probably repetition. Again, I'm not recreating the wheel here. But it's a way to get through it pretty quickly. Don't overthink it. Just put it down. If you pre-measured, you're good to go. And that winds up looking nice. Look at that. I'm looking at this going, this is kind of ugly. Now, the only problem I have is that this background is off-white and this is like white. So I'm going to redo this. I'm going to save that. And I'm actually going to make one of these that is like on craft paper or like a cream colored paper. Let me see what I can find. I wasn't ready for this to happen. Nope, that is white core paper. I'm not going to use that. I know that I've got some tan paper. Well, I don't want to hold you guys up on that. Obviously, I didn't plan very well for that. Oh, there's some right here. That might be a little too... No, that's too greeny, yellowy. But you get the gist of what I'm talking about, right? So we're going to have to use like a cream, just an off-white color. I know I've got some off-white paper. I just don't have it right here at my disposal. Wait. The ones that I have are craft. This is pearlized paper. That might work. That might work. I'll give that a go. Okay. Yeah, I think that matches really, really nicely. It's a really pretty pearlized paper. I don't remember where I got this from. I knew I had it. And now I just need to find my... Oh, there it is. This is the die set. I think I've already showed you guys this, but the ones that I used was this one for the inside one, and this one for the outside one, I believe. Yes. Oh, I didn't need this one. I only needed this one. So I am just going to roughly cut this. Ooh, I like that paper. It's got a really cool shine. I hope the camera's picking that up. I'm just going to roughly cut this just so I can run it through my machine super fast. Now I know for the other ones, this is the base that I'll cut. The only problem with this is that inking on this pearlized paper is going to be difficult. I don't know how that's going to work. So, but you guys can find out with me because I've tried to ink on pearlized paper before and it slides off. So we will see how this works out. I've just got a Sizzix good old-fashioned Sizzix Bake Shot. That I don't have the fancy ones that you just press the button and it goes. You know, I'm still cranking that sucker. I'm okay with it. Thank God I don't have any major issues with my wrists or shoulders or anything like that, which some of my friends here on YouTube do have those issues. So thank God for those machines where they can still do what they need to do and not be in discomfort. Okay. So that definitely goes better than the stark white, but I do have stark white down here. So, but the overwhelming part up here is more off-white. So would they both have worked? I'm sure it would have, but yeah. And this one, because of the way that these little stitching things are done on the die, I can't use the other side. Even though I got this little ink spot down there, it will not come off, I'm sure. So it is what it is. So I don't think that this is going to stamp. Either one will work. Hold on. Yeah. I think this one will look a little bit better. You can even change it up if you want to, but oh, here we go. I'm going to get off my whole thing where we need to mass produce to do things quickly. For this, I think I'm going to try a different ink, guys. I don't know if I'm going to have any better luck, but I think I'll try Archival. And I probably won't be able to emboss if I do that. Dang it. You know what? I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to see what happens. If it works, cool. If it doesn't, I'll figure something else out. I'll use what I already did and move on. Doing the overthinking thing again. I'm good at it. I'm going to give it CPR. I can already see it's slippery. It's got really nothing to hold on to because it has all that shine. But I'm going to try. Maybe if I melt it with the embossing powder, that will be exactly what is needed. So, but the pearlized paper, I've never tried to heat emboss on this before. So, wish me luck. First for everything. Fingers crossed. It's really thick paper. Embossing has a cloudy look to it. And now it's competing with the sheen of the paper, but that's okay. I'm sorry guys, I have to angle it so I don't burn my finger. Well, it looks okay. It's a little dull. Weird how that works, huh? Okay, moving on. Moving on. I might not like this whole strip now. I actually might take that off entirely and put the gold down there. Let's see. I don't know. I'm overthinking it. You know what? I'm just going to go with what I did. This is happening. And there's the answer to inking on pearlized paper. You emboss on it and you're good. That is a beautiful discovery. Hope you guys enjoyed discovering that with me. If you're still with me, I don't even know if my video is still going. I hope it is. The joys of recording videos for YouTube that you don't want to edit in the middle of the night. Let's make this sucker work. That looks pretty good. Okay. Inside's done already. It's good. Put that right in the front. And I'm going to have to get over the fact that my card is completely white. Yep, moving on. Because the other option that I would have is to make another card base out of the pearlized paper that I used, which I need to find, because that would work. But we should just move. Oh, it's right here. Oh, I can't do that because I can't do 10. What did I do with this? I know I got more of that paper. So I think that I'm going to really like that pearlized paper for my card base better had I really paid more attention to this off-white thing. But I've already stamped this one. I got to rock and roll with it because the whole object here is to not get lost in the noise and too much creativity, because we already found a process that works. And when you're tight on time, you still want to get your creativity on, your creative fill, right? You've got to stay focused. But it's so easy to squirrel. Shiny. It's shiny. I could make it shiny. No. It's shiny enough. Move on. Okay. I know that I've got this size, so as long as I can size it up here on these corners up here and make it equal, I should equal all the way down. And it's a little off. Dang it! Again, over it. Not pleased, but if anybody that receives this card wants to complain about the fact that it's a little off down here, they got a problem. I'm the one with the problem right now. Like, I want to fix that so bad I can't even tell you. I am literally going to have to fix that. I can't help it. Yep, I'm going to fix it. And how am I going to fix it? I'm going to line it up. Tip number 4,000,000. When you have to fix something like this, you use the edge of your trimmer, this edge down here, put the paper on there. I'm going to make this straight if it kills me. Now, this is pretty heavy-duty trimmer, so I'm going to be able to go through both of the pages. So wish me luck, guys. Now I'm even at the bottom. I'm not even at the top. That's okay. At least I'm even at the bottom. I feel a little bit better, but I am going to cut those off. Just a tiny bit. Again, lining up with the paper with my trimmer. I don't think that helped very much. And then I'm going to line it up again. Hold that sucker down really hard. I feel a little better about that. There we go. And I'm just going to cut a big piece of this and see if I can make it work just like that. And save myself some supplies. If I put a little extra glue on it, it'll stay put. Quick like lightning. I don't love it, but I like it. So we're going to roll with it. It's not perfect, but perfect is boring, as I always say. There it is. Oh, shoot. got a little glue booger on the back there. All right, now I need something down here, and this is a little too short. Those are all too short, so I will have to cut another piece down here, unless... Oh, that's not the one I want to use. Because I'll make this one again. This is the one I want to use. Cut this down to about 1 inch. And there it is. I use my ruler to get this one straight at the bottom. Again, I always struggle with getting things straight. I know I'm not the only one. I've watched other people struggle as well. It doesn't help that I'm not the only one, though. It's just frustrating when you can't get it straight. I'll use my Tim Holtz ruler if I could find it. I had it. How can I not have that right now? I'm probably like looking right at it. Nope. I have no idea where I went. Oh, there it is. Nope. Line it up with my grid lines. Then I have the grid lines on the ruler. And pretty close to the edge. That'll do. All right, so hopefully this is helpful, guys. Not my favorite one. I really like that one. This one I think is my favorite. I really like this one. And I have that pre-cut. So we'll do more of that. This is the one I made originally, but I think this one's my favorite. It's like really crisp and like sharp. I like that one. This one's nice too. This way it still turned out really nice. I still like it. Those little things that I notice that no one else will ever notice. So, and I still got this one cut, and I'll make another one just like this one here. But you guys have probably seen enough. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm gonna have a whole bunch more to come after the holidays. Got a lot of things going on with my family. Some medical things that really need immediate attention. That's taken away from my crafting and my ability to do videos. Hope y'all understand. So, but as soon as I can, I will get more out there. So thank you so much. Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy holidays. I hope you have a wonderful holiday and a wonderful new year. And I will see you all back here soon.